Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about the newly launched eyeshadow palette from Makeup by Mario, Ethereal Eyes Moonlight. It feels like we've already seen this before, and it's because it's a second launch of its kind from Makeup by Mario. The palette comes in this outer packaging. It's very simple, like black matte cardboard, has some information in the back, and the palette is plastic this time and not as weighted as the first launch. The design is very simple. You just have a name there, and in the back of the palette there is a sticker with some additional information. The shade names are very simple. They're called from EM1 through EM12. This palette is cruelty-free and has a 12-month shelf life. Manufactured in the USA and assembled in Dominican Republic. Limited edition Moonlight inspired palette. Inside you can find 12 buildable and blendable shades in 4 unique finishes to create versatile looks that last. The glossy shimmer finish is first of its kind pearl infused formula that adorns eyelids with a reflective, wet-looking shine. The new suede satin finish has a smooth suede texture with a demi silky sheen for subtle luminosity. This is a cool tone sister to the original Ethereal Eyes that I have right here, and this palette is loved in my collection. I have to admit, initially I did have a love-hate relationship with it, and I can have my original video linked for you in the description box if you were interested to catch up. And here are my original thoughts on the palette. But you can see them side by side. They are definitely different. This one is definitely more neutral and seems much warmer. This is definitely your cool tone option. In today's video, I will show you 3 look tutorials. The look that's on my eyes today is one of the looks that you're going to see today in this video. If this is your first time on my channel watching a dedicated eyeshadow palette video, I usually talk through the application of each look, and at the end of each look, I will give you my round-up thoughts on each look and the quality performance of the shadows that I use for that particular look. Before we get started, I would love to welcome new visitors and viewers to my channel. Hello, my name is Eve. I love all things beauty. Here on my channel, I share about beauty and lifestyle. I upload new videos every week, and if that sounds interesting to you, I hope you enjoy this video. Subscribe to my channel, and now without further ado, let's dive in. I've already seen that a lot of creators went for a halo eye for the blue look, and I totally agree. My hands are itching to recreate that beautiful halo eye with this navy blue, but I want to do just like a traditional blue smoky outer corner type of thing. This shade first. This shade seems to be like a natural choice for me to pair it with the blue, with a navy blue. There's a kickback on the mattes, but also once I blend, there's no fallout, which is nice. This matte formula, I haven't touched this palette. This is my very first time playing with this specific palette, but I already have the original, like the first launch from him, from Ethereal Eyes. And the formula so far, it's exactly what I remember. Blends like a dream. This doesn't seem to be like super pigmented shade, but it builds up really nicely. This shade in the palette looks taupe, but on me it pulls very, very gray. Then I'm gonna go with this favorite brush of mine. It's a blending brush from Sigma E25, has this perfect shape, and I'm gonna go straight into the navy shade. I'm gonna start applying it here in the outer corner. I generally really like navy shades. I enjoy them. I find them very flattering on my skin tone, and also I think they look really nice with my blue eyes. I'm going to take the same shade and I'm going to do the lower lash line. The shade doesn't blend away. It also doesn't travel too far. Just blend it really comfortably. That's my dog trying to come into the room. He opens doors. Gussie knows how to open doors. I promise you I do not have a ghost. I'm taking a smaller brush and I'm just building up a little bit more intensity here. Going back and forth between the brushes. My dog is trying to open the doors. Here he comes. Hey Gussie. Hey Bobs. My dog has this thing where he doesn't like to see any closed doors, that he needs to have all the doors open. I really do not have explanation for this, but it's my dog. And whenever I film, he usually is here with me. I'm gonna go with this shade that I started with and just add a little bit on my lower lash line here in the inner corner, just blend it softly a little bit. So for my shimmers, I'm gonna use this shade And then I'm gonna use this shade and I'm gonna dip into this one. These two seem to have the same formulation. They're very like ethereal shades in a way. They have that like wet effect to them. And this one has just a little bit more blue, but it seems to be more in like a satin side, but I want to put it closer to the outer corner just to blend these things together. Yes, it's definitely a satin shade and it is gray. Kind of, it's gray, but it does look kind of bluish on top of this navy. I think they pair together really nicely, but also there is a fallout here on my cheek. And now I'm gonna go with the next shade over. Oh, it's stunning. So beautiful. It definitely has a color, like a tint to it, but not too much of a base, but the effect of the wet lid is stunning. I have nails right now, guys, so I have to use a brush for my inner corner with that brighter shade. And I'm gonna bring it to the very inner corner as well. It applied with the brush okay, but I know for a fact that they would apply better with finger. Ethereal shades, they are a little bit more on the dry side, and the temperature of your body usually would like help them to almost like melt into your skin and adhere better. I would want to try to spray this and apply it one more time. It definitely becomes more intense with the sprayed brush. At the same time, it turns into like more foily effect rather than like ethereal sparkle. Maybe in a way it just looks like you have a choice here. If you want to go like more intense, so the color pops up like more of like a foily effect, you can spray your brush. But if you want that ethereal like glimmering effect, like a wet lid effect, then apply it with your finger, maybe like on a stickier base. I was just adding my waterline with my Nabla pencil, and I decided to add the black because I think I want a little bit more oomph. So I'm gonna go into the black shade right here with my Rapper 03 pencil brush. I want to add a little bit of black in my outer corner. Oh yeah. Yep, that was the right decision, I think. This pencil brush from Rapper is amazing. You guys, this is the finished first look. I think it came out really nice and cohesive. Everything blended really beautifully into each other as far as mattes and shimmers as well. This is definitely something that what I expected from this formula from the first palette that he launched. It seems like it's exactly the same formula, just different shades. These are all the shades that I used. I used 3 mattes and 3 shimmers. This shade, just like I expected, it looks taupe in the pan, but it pulls quite gray on my skin. So there's a kickback in the pan, like I mentioned, but there's also a little bit of a fallout. The fallout from the matte shades come off, but you also have to be careful because if it's like a navy or black shade, it definitely can stain your already existing makeup. I think I have a little bit of like a shadow here, but okay, we're just rolling with it. As far as the shimmers, definitely they're dry formula. They do have that very, very fine shimmer glitter particles. They do also fall. The recommendation would be to do your eye makeup first. Let me know what you think of this look. We're moving on to look number 2. So I think on this eye, for the second look, I'm going to do something gray because this navy blue is definitely not as bright of a blue as you could think. So I want to put it right next to the gray look, see how they look next to each other for comparison. So I'm actually going to sweep this shade first, like close to my brow bone. See what this shade is. It shows up a little bit. It's kind of barely satin, let's say, but it doesn't have too much pigment. Maybe on a deeper skin tone, it will show up a little bit more, but on me, it's barely there. Has a little bit of sheen, tiniest bit. Now I'm gonna go into this shade. Again, it pulls very gray on me, like very gray. The more I blend it, the grayer it becomes. And I'm going to go straight into this gray shade, apply it onto my eye. Oh, it's beautiful. It's really pretty. Blend it out just a tiny bit here. Blends very pretty. I'm going to add the black in the outer corner. I'm filling in my outer corner with the black. All right, guys, I think I cleaned it up a little bit here, but it's still a little bit messy. So let's just disregard it because I decided to do my complexion first today. I want to see if I can do almost a full matte look out of this and go with this. Oh my gosh, this palette is so hard to use on camera. It catches the light around me everywhere. I'm gonna go with this shade, the one that I started with. Let's see how it's gonna work. Why not? Let's play with it. Okay, guys, so I'm actually really loving what's happening right now. It's nothing exciting, let's say, but it looks really nice. Second finished look, and here as well, beautiful mattes. Same consistent formula. I actually did not expect and didn't plan by all means to do a matte look, but I feel like everything came together really nicely and cohesively. I think if you do enjoy matte looks, I think you can create really beautiful matte looks because this matte formula is beautiful. Behind the camera, I ended up adding a little bit of that lightest bluest shimmer shade right here in my inner corner. These are all the shades that I used. I started with this shade. As you can see, you can barely see it, but in the look, it definitely lightened up here in contrast with the medium tones. This shade was a really nice transition, worked really well. This was our main color. This gray is stunning. Moment of truth here. These two looks next to each other. If you ask me, I barely see any difference. You can definitely tell that this has more blue in it. But again, this also has shimmers and this one doesn't. I feel like if I put the same shimmers all over here on this eye, you will not tell the difference. I feel like if you were just very drawn to this palette because of the navy blue shade, think again. Think again. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, but we're moving on to look number 3. All right, for the final look, I'm gonna do the neutral. What's left in this palette, I'm gonna go to town with all the neutral shades. I'm gonna start with this shade, the palest, and then I will go to this one into the transition. I'm gonna put this right under my brow bone. Yeah, it doesn't do much. It's more of like a lid setting shade. Then I'm going into that taupe shade. I'm using the Singe EO3 blending brush for this. Then I'm going into the brown shade. This is the last shade that we haven't used yet from the mattes. I'm using a Refer 01. Absolutely love this brush so much. So this brown shade definitely gives me like a really nice pigment that blends nicely, but it doesn't really give me a lot of depth. Let's see if I can build it up with a smaller brush and be satisfied with it. If not, we'll have to go into the darker shade in the palette, which is black, and darken the outer corner. So this brown shade in the palette looks much warmer than it comes out of my skin. I know on the upper lid, I actually started with a much cooler shade, so it definitely like blended in together and cooled this brown, warmer brown down. That could be the case, but also on my lower lash line, it also looks just the same brown color, even though I used completely different brush. But I'm gonna add a little bit of black here, just tiny bit, because I feel like I am not really getting the dimension. I just start looking muddy. So for my lid, I'm gonna use this one, and maybe this one in the corner. We'll see where we're gonna end up. And this is a fine. Palette into a good use today and tested different variations. So thoughts on this palette is that I still don't like the packaging. I still wish it wasn't white, because just using it for this video, just filming this 3 looks, it's already dirty. It already has stains all over it, just like the previous one. So the packaging this time is lighter, so it's plastic. It's definitely not as weighted as the first palette, but I do love the size and I do love the mirror. I also wanted to say that just as the first palette, this palette frame does not have a notch. It's very difficult to open. You really have to like pull this out. Sometimes I have to put like my nail right in here to really pull this palette apart. The color story is definitely much cooler than I thought it could look on me. From pictures, I really had some hopes that this is going to pull a little bit more pink, and this shade is going to give me more warmth, and unfortunately that was not the case. We all saw that today. I really like the matte formula. I think it's really beautiful. It's effortless blending. It really just kind of blends itself. The shimmers are also absolutely stunning. These 4 shimmers here, they are more of your toppers, and this kind of like the full satin shade, and this one also has some shimmer in it. It's kind of like the satin shade as well, but it's barely showing on my skin as you saw today. If you are like medium to deeper skin tones, I think it might show up differently on you. If you are interested, check out different creators with the different skin tones than me, so it will give you a little bit better perspective. Unfortunately, I cannot speak on that for sure. None of the deeper shade caused any difficulty blending. Nothing was patchy. Everything just performed really nicely. I think that the quality of this palette just as beautiful as the previous one. It's just a preference of the color story. I think I still prefer this color story on me rather than this one. I also was a skeptic purchasing this palette, but I was drawn into shimmers, of course, but unfortunately that was not the case. I think for most part everything looks like 50 Shades of Grey on me. Okay guys, I will wrap up my video here. Let me know of all your thoughts, additional questions. If you may have any, leave them in the comment section below. I would love to chat with you there. If you guys enjoy dedicated eyeshadow palette videos, and also if you like to see the video that I did on the first Mario palette, I will have all that link for you in the cards at the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, give this a big thumb up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not yet a subscriber. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I will see you in my next video.